Hey, beautiful people, a pleasant afternoon to you. I was talking with a friend of mine today, and she said something that, the older you get, hopefully, I use the word hopefully, the wiser you become. Hopefully, the wiser you become. You think a little bit deeper. She said she was listening to the Prime Minister, and she totally agreed with him. Prime Minister, and I'm going to paraphrase, because technically it's secondhand information, but you can get secondhand information that is trustworthy. Once you know, without a shadow of a doubt, generally speaking, I should say, that it is coming from a credible source. So if you know that this person is credible, I'm not saying that sometimes it cannot be off, but based on what was spoken on, I would imagine that that is what the Prime Minister would have said. And basically what she was relaying to me is that he indicated that, look here, I willy-nilly can't just get people to work on the roads. All right. He made mention of the experts, the high tier workers, those in management and so on. He was saying that those are not the ones who lay the pipes, who fix who dig up the ground and do the groundwork, literally, the manual labor. They may be the mastermind behind it. They may do the blueprint. They may guide you along and whatnot, but they are not the actual workers doing it. And sometimes, because you say you want to do good to your citizens, when you give it to a layman, somebody who is not trained, who doesn't have the expertise, who is either low skilled or unskilled, then the cheapest ending up become the dearest. Meaning that when you use something that is inferior, I'm not calling the people, I'm talking their work ethic is inferior, then you're going to get inferior work, and then the work has to be done all over again, which wastes money. I can tell you from experience on a smaller scale, when you just pick a man because you say, boy, you want to help him and give him money, boy, sometimes it's maybe best that you just take money out of your pocket and give him. I remember there was, before they had rehabilitated our road, there was a gentleman, that, he kind of tried to help a little handyman, and there was just a pothole somewhere that was creating problems. And we remember the citizens came together, got the cement, the sand, the rock, the rough sand, and the pebble thing there. I can't remember the name right now, and let me tell you something. The man created a pothole in the pothole. The entire material went to waste. And somebody had said to me, I don't think you should use this individual. And I said, no, man, give the individual a chance. I said, they were cautioning me, and it's more than one people. I remember there was another handyman, an older gentleman, and I would say to my mother, why don't God call that particular man? She said, no, absolutely not. She has had experience after experience after experience. You can't just say you feel sorry for and give them certain jobs to do because it's going to cost you in the long run. When they had rehabilitated our roads, it was the Chinese that they used. Let me tell you, work ethic was up there. They had 1 or 2 Jamaicans who were obviously skilled. I was impressed when I came home and saw, and when they were there on the weekend, I had to look and say, mighty God. I had to go to, well, it was a Jamaican one, a young guy. I said, fellow, what you having in your body, sir? The guy up and down with the thing, doing the work well. I was glad it was a Jamaican guy still, But when you watch the work ethic of the chat, they went and they're doing their job, not idling, burning weed, digging out in the middle, smoking, drinking, doing the work inferior, using inferior material. I mean, I was in awe, and they were, even when you don't expect them, they're there. They're there. They have a timeline and they work with that, and it's not rushed work. It is smart, it is timely, and it is done properly. People, we have to be very careful how we say this way will sound bad, but I have to be real. Or we just want to get a Jamaican man a little. No, it cannot work like that. Not when you're dealing with something comprehensive and serious. When you're dealing with fixing roads, digging up roads and laying pipes, you can't just say go and give a man because you want to give him a little work. When the Bible says if you don't work, you shall not eat, it doesn't mean that you go and take. I wouldn't get up and just go and do medical work. I'm not called for that. I don't have the grace for that. God didn't give me the drive and the oomph for that. That's not for me. I would do a poor job. Yes, I'm also not trained, but I also don't, as I said, have the spirit, the attitude, the grace for that. God didn't give me that arm to go and take on. So I would not have done it. So when the Prime Minister says, look here, we have to use highly skilled, let me tell you, I can understand why they get the Chinese, the white, the this, the that, apart from the Jamaican people. A lot of them are low skilled or unskilled. It sounds bad. You know, the Bible says you must study to show yourselves approved. When it says study, it doesn't only mean studying book alone, you know. It means get yourself trained and skilled. We should be highly skilled. God likes he loves when people are highly trained and highly skilled. That is why he used Paul to write over 50% of the New Testament. This man was a highly brilliant man, spoke over 14 languages. He had summa cum laude. That's like higher than a distinction. It is as though he would have had several PhDs in different areas. That's the best way for me to put it for you to understand. He had to use somebody who was highly trained, highly skilled, because he would be able to communicate to the upper echelon, the elite, the creme de la creme. And this is no indictment on anybody. It's because he went and he studied to show himself approved. That's what he did. And he also was a skilled man. He was a tent maker. When I say tent, we always call it the Taliban outfit, or what the Sheik wear, that long flowy, it's not a dress thing, whatever, you know what I'm talking, whatever you want to call. Tent is a real name, and so on. And those things were expensive. You think when you see the Sheik, you think a Sheik them just over themselves? No. The average Joe probably cannot buy it. See what them keep as pets, lions and tigers and bears and all them things. Yeah. So the Prime Minister is absolutely right. As I said, the older you get, the wiser you become, hopefully, and the less judgmental. Back in the day, I used to say, boy, all the government officials, them state, I'm not talking about this specific government, and anyone that may be in. I said, boy, they're not giving a little man a chance. But I cannot say that it's not right. They have not gotten themselves trained and highly skilled, even medium, and then moving up. When you have your plumbing work at, many houses are in dilapidated condition. Many houses, people come and say they are mason, plumber, whatever you call the people who lay the tile. When you look the tile up, lift up, like you think earthquake a come. The pipe now 7 or 11, just a run it and leak it. I mean it faster than you see in Bolt. The walls stripping the place lean. After she was sharing with me how her husband wanted to build on another room, and he had to stand there day in, day out, and say, no, what you're doing not right. And you can't do it, so it'll look lean. You know how many people having to be doing that? Go and talk to a lot of people, how people have destroyed their homes. From the plumbing to the tiling to the wall. I mean, she said she went somewhere over the Labor Day to give back. Somebody doing some work, them have blocks and whatever without steel. So that as a little earthquake come, tumble right down, because you say one get a little man of work. You cannot say that. You have to give the highly skilled, and unfortunately, if the highly skilled are the Chinese, Japanese, Syrian, white, then you have to give it to them, because the cheapest will become the dearest. It will cost you and I in the long run, because taxpayers' money is doing it. Let me tell you, it's not a matter that you don't feel for them. They need to go and upskill them. Say better them ask for some money for go back to school, or go back to some things where they can get some training. It is better they do. Or you just, if they're hungry, I kill them, you just give them some money or some food to buy food. It makes no sense that you say you're going to give them the work. When the Bible says if you don't work, it doesn't mean that you take up any and every job. I mean, them say, we can't do it, man. When them come, me say the man create a pothole in the pothole that when I gave him the work, I was so embarrassed, because I was warned. Entire material went to waste. You have to get highly trained people. And the Chinese are doing it. I can't blame the man now. I really can't blame the Prime Minister. You see, now when you start to see things unfold in front of you, that's why time is a master, Someone not criticizing the man and saying this and saying that, and look there, the man is right. Because many of us face it on a smaller scale. So can you imagine on that bigger scale, when you and I still paying it out of our tax? When I look at my pay slip and see what they take for all income tax, it is comparable to some people's salary. So stay there, people. Anyway, guys, you know what to do. Read TikTok and YouTube. Subscribe. give me one of those lions and follow me on Instagram. Have a good one.